issues. I have issues. My feet are big. That's my issue. No. Okay. Good night, babe. I love you so much. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Hello, hello, hello. Seems kind of blurry to me. Hey, there's my girl. What's up? What's going on? Okay, good night, babe. I love you so much. I'll see you in a bit. Hold on, guys. There, I don't know if that's better. Maybe it's just my eyes. Hello, everybody. I am Lori Olson, coming at you guys live from northern Minnesota. Yep, and I'm kind of tired. There's my girl Daddy, and there's Cassie and Dora. Hello, guys. Drop a 1 for watching me live, would you? And I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining. Am I blurry? Is it just me? It's been a long day. Look, I've been working my buns off. Hold on, I'm going to take you for a spin. Hello. I miss you too. I enjoyed your company so much at St. Louis at True Summit. I enjoyed meeting you. You are, it's so true that your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Like, I mean, seriously. There's my Dora, my little rock star in Canada. Eh? So good to see you, my girl Cassie May. Love you, love you, love you. Drop a 1 for watching live, and do me a favor. 2 things. Hi Brenda, drop a 1 for watching live. Hey Rod, nice of you to join us again tonight. I won't call this a sausage fest again. Anyway, do me a favor. The first thing I want you to answer is, if you could think of one thing quick off the top of your head, when people say something about you, that they know you, what do they say? Hey everybody, Eva, Judy, listen, Jody too, all of you. Drop a 1 and then tell me what is the first thing that comes to your mind if people were going to define you or say something about you. They would say like, Eva is kind. Okay? I want you to look at it from somebody else's point of view and say, whoever you are, what other people would say about you first thing. And then in the comments, please tell me what's the first thing that comes to your mind if someone asks what you like about yourself, or what's one trait, not physical, about you. I'm so glad. Vicky, drop a 1, and then in the comments, please share with me one word that you think the people that know you best, how would they describe you? Okay? One word, like how would they describe you? Eva is this, Lori is that. Boy, and don't think I even heard a lot of bad stuff in my life. And then in the next comment section, say, I am this, I am that. I don't want to know about your physical traits, because I see with my heart. I don't see, I see heart to heart, not eyes. So I want to know, say one thing. Okay, Vicky says, so friendly is what you would say about you, or say they would say this. They would say I'm friendly, and I say I am this. I want to know, because here's the thing. And hi Melanie. Hello everybody. Please drop a 1, and in the comments, in one word, describe what somebody would say about you. Melanie is this. And then in the next comment, say, I am this. And I don't want to talk, it's not about what you look like. Hey, Rod. Rodney says honest. Eva says loving. Now, are these what other people say they would say? So I know if it's you, what you think about you, or what you think they think about you. Okay? So I would say, they would say I'm crazy or whatever. And then they're right. Because, some of you know my story, and you know me a little bit, and and Vicky said I am caring, and you are, Vicky, definitely. And you know that I was going to college to get my bachelor's in science and psychology, and I didn't have very far to go to graduate, actually, and then things happened. There's Mama Mac. So, hi, thank you for calling me beautiful. You're beautiful too. So here's what we're doing, guys. I'm going to say it one more for all these wonderful people jumping on, because this is going to be good. I hope you brought a pencil and paper. drop a 1 first for watching live. And then in the comments, I want you to think of a quick 1 word, how people would describe you. They would say, Jake is, or I want you to say, they would say I'm funny. And then in the next comment, I want 1 word that you describe yourself. Hi, Lynette. Drop a 1. And then in the comments, say, in 1 word, describe what you think other people would say about you. Lynette is, so Lynette, you would say, they would say, I'm this. And then in the next feed, or in the next comment line, say, I am this. I want to know how you perceive yourself and how you think others perceive you. So a long time ago, Cassie May, they say I'm friendly, and you are. A long time ago, I was given a test by a friend of mine that blew my mind. So we'll get to that later. Don't leave though, because this is super cool and it's not a long test. It's just like, I'm going to ask you 3 different questions. Okay. Now I am so compelled about the psychological aspect of our brains. And for many, 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 many years, I mean, I think from the time I was young, like I had a pretty good sense of where I fit in the family and what kind of a kid I was. You know what I mean? Like, I knew right from wrong, and I knew that I loved little froggies, and I knew that I'd fill the garage full of every single little bug, animal, mouse, whatever I found. I also knew that I was very good at assessing a situation and at grabbing what I needed for me as a young kid to get what I want, what I needed to do, and how I needed to, like, assert myself. Or does that make sense to you guys? Give me some hearts. Like, what I needed as a young kid, like, okay, so that's not working. Now let me try this. And I was always an actress, like so much. Like I could cry, I could whatever, always since high school, since I was a kid. Since little toddler. Hey, Dave Schlapko. So my perception of who I was as I grew up I was very unaware of who I really was. And most of us are, because you think you know. Hi, Boo. Elena, in the comments, my daughter in hearts on here, drop a 1 for watching live, and then in the comments, give me 1 word how you think people would describe you. So, Elena, you would say, they say I'm this. And then in the next feed, hi, Angie. I'll say it 1 more time. So in the comments, I want to know, give me 1 word, say how people view you. They say I'm this. They would say I'm this. In the next comment, say I am this. It doesn't have to be conflicting or anything. Hey, Janessa. So kind of watch what everybody else is commenting. In 1 word, tell me what people think about you, how they would say, what they would say about you. First thing that comes to your mind. They say I'm this. And then in the next comment, you're going to write, I am this. It doesn't have to be the same thing or different, whatever the first thing that comes to your mind. I want to know how closely you perceive yourself as to what you think people perceive you as. It doesn't have to be the same thing. I just want to know if we're in the same vein here. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Elena says, I am strong. You are strong, Elena Boo. I love you so much. So what did you say, what people say about you, Elena? They say you are what? And they say you're strong too? Okay, that's very good. That's kind of, that you're kind of, seeing things on a good perspective. However, it's very difficult to do that, because until you put yourself, we can never really figure out how somebody sees themselves, what somebody else's self-image is. Like, I could never say you're going to say this, because you have to practically know each and every aspect of their life to know what somebody else, what their self-image is, or what they think they are, who they think they are. Like, does that make sense to you? Give me some hearts if that makes sense. Like, it's very, very difficult. Your perspective on yourself is very distorted to begin with. We are told that Yourself lies right there. You're an open book. Just open it and read it and know all about yourself. All your hopes and dreams and wishes is right there. You just have to open the book and be understood and identified. And that is fake news. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Because we are extremely complicated. Our psyche, our ego, id, who we are is such a vast majority of influences and things we see and things we hear and what we're supposed to be. And hi, patience. Drop a 1 for watching live. And sorry to interrupt, guys. And in the comments, I would like you to say, people think I'm, or I am, people, what people would say about you. Patience is this. And then in the next comment, say, I am this. I want to know if you see yourselves as other people do. Okay, so psychological research will show you and tell you that we do not have privileged access to try to assess and accurately define that part of ourselves. So like who we are, who we really, really are, because your life isn't over, right? Like, some people would say that we are rigid in our personality structure and we are rigid in our characteristics, and you are who you are. If your moral compass is on, then you're a moral person and this and that. And listen, that's fallacy. It's fantasy, because we are all environmentally, influenced, right? So, a Princeton psychologist, her name is Emily Pronin. She specializes in human self-perception and decision-making, like how we perceive ourselves and how does that affect the decisions that we make, right? I mean, that's simple. Like, I know that I would never steal. Well, listen, almost every one of us wants to say that, right? Or will say that. I think I'm very moral and I would never steal from people. But in all honesty, and as transparent as I am with you guys, I've told the story before of how I stole the fingernail clipper when I was like 8 from the 50 Lakes store. We had just moved to 50 Lakes and I'd walked a mile to the store, and Red Katzenberger, who worked there, I like to go up and hang out this older kind of red-haired, kind of grumbly voice lady. And she saw me do it. She let me take it. And by the time I got home, she had called my mother and told her. And when I walked in the door, I mean, all the way home, I felt like I had a rock in my pocket that got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time I walked into my house at 8 years old, I felt seriously like I weighed 155 pounds and I couldn't look my mom in the eye. And she's like, oh, so you went up to the store, huh? About tax. I'm not kidding you. And I didn't even let her say another word. I reached into my sweatshirt pocket, my little hoodie, and I pulled out the fingernail clipper that said 50 Lakes. Like, why in the hell would I even take that? It was a compulsion, and it was a test, and it was a thrill. And I've always been a thrill-seeking personality since I was little. I opened my hand, and there is the evidence, and I knew that my mom knew. I mean, and I was mortified, but indignant. And I stood there, and I'm like, it's just a fingernail clipper. She said, young lady, I think you know what I'm going to say. Turn around, walk that mile, and bring that back. And you apologize. And I'm like, I mean, I think bringing it back is just an apology, whatever. And there's no arguing, right? So I turned around and I walked back all the way up there. I thought, there's nothing else to say. I cannot make up an excuse. I can't say, why. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, put it on the counter and run. I got in the store, and before I could say anything, Red Katzenberger, and God bless her heart, she scooped it out of my hand and put it in hers. She took the broom that was in her hand and put it in mine and said, don't say a word, but that back room needs some sweeping. And I did. And I swear to God that was one of the most formative things that ever happened to me in those years, like between the 6 and 12 maybe. I have never forgot that. And there was a long time in my life, you guys know my dark years, where I did a lot of things, like a lot of things. But I'm not going to lie. When the thoughts come around, or the thinking about taking something that didn't belong to me or whatever, it wasn't that I had to go sweep, and it wasn't so much that I knew that I did something wrong. It was the look on those two women's faces, because they never expected that of me. They always perceived me as honest. Like I would never lie. I never told on my brothers. I was never like that. So, but me, of course, I, at that young of age, I mean, I can't really tell you how I saw myself. Today, I know who I am, or I'm learning every day. My story's not over. So anyway, she says that the psychologist says that absolutely, this is a mistaken belief. She calls it an introspection illusion. Introspection illusion. That means looking inside and trying, inside yourself. It's an illusion. And it's because the way we view ourselves is completely distorted. We don't even know it. So our self-images have little to do with our actions. For an example, we are convinced that we're empathetic and that we're generous people. Now tell me, give me some hearts if this has ever happened to you. We are convinced we're generous and we're empathetic and that, we are kind and loving. But yet we walk right by a homeless people or somebody that's, you see them in Brainerd all the time. We'll work for food, or I'm hungry. We'll drive right by. I mean, really honest. Let's be real. We talk real here. This is a real deal. Give me some hearts if you've done that or know what I'm saying. Seriously, I want to know. I've done it. I've done it many times. But then there's the me that has been standing in line and will kick out, 65 cents or pay for somebody's, McDonald's, or if they, lost their struggling or their kids are putting candy, whatever. I mean, but that's a little bit different because you're engaged with people. They're right there and people, are talking, and I don't want to be the person standing there wishing I had 72 cents. It's mortifying. But if you're walking and you don't have to fix your eyes on somebody, you keep on walking. So who you thought you were or should be, you don't have to be that for a second, right? Because you're kind of anonymous. Does that make sense? That blows my mind. Hi, Marlo. How are ya? Drop a 1 for watching live. And in the comments, tell me what one word people would describe you as. And then in the next comment, tell me what one word that you would describe you as. So they would say, I'm this and I am this. So it's crazy. And listen, no amount of convincing or talking or showing people, there's a lot of people that don't believe that. They think we're very rigid in who we are because of our upbringing. And they think that that quite simply that we don't want to be stingy and arrogant. And this is what I believe, that we think what we think about ourselves. Hey, Andrew, drop a 1 for watching live. And then we're talking about our perception of ourselves. So I'd like to know in one word, Andrew and Marlo, what you would say if what people would describe you as. One word. They would say, I'm this. And then I want to know what you say about you. It doesn't have to be the same thing or related, just right off the top of your head. There's a reason. Quite simply, it is because we don't want to be stingy. We don't want to be arrogant. We don't want to be, I guess I said stingy, arrogant. We assume that we aren't because we don't want to be. Does that make sense? So our views of ourselves is so distorted, and our views of others, it's so divergent that we have no problem recognizing somebody else's faults. Like when someone else is stingy or racist or lying or whatever, we can always see that in somebody else and go, wow, I can't, But as far as ourselves, we would never consider that about ourselves, would we? Like, it would never pop into our heads. I did a video a couple months ago, and we were talking about, I always say fat. I was fat. I am fat. And I was telling a story about what I said to my daughter. I made a statement, and it will never come out of my mouth again, about something. And it was all kind of in fun, and we were talking, and I said something about I hate, and I'm like, and it was actually about kids, okay? That's all I'm going to say. And she looked at me, and I'm like, I felt like I had ashes in my mouth or sand. I could not believe that my heart conjured up something to talk to my brain to spit that out of my mouth. And let's face it, we are all human. We get caught up in jokes. We get caught up in when we're looking at the Walmart memes with the people with their pants coming down and their butt crack showing, and we laugh and we wish in our minds, we say, God, I am so glad that's not me. Don't say it's not true, because it's true. Every day happens. We run into situations like that. So we are not rigidly programmed. We can fluctuate, and our brains do some miraculous things. Our intent is to be good, yes. But how well do we really know and have to know ourselves? Like, in order to access our own personal self-image. How do we get there? How do we really know what our own self-image, how we see ourselves is? Is it real, or is it just kind of told to us or mirrored to us by our lives and what we've been told between right and wrong and what we think about ourselves? Because, like, who knows this guy at the office? Who knows this guy thinking he is the bomb? No, there's nobody better. There's no, or wherever you work, there's nobody that can pour more concrete or finish it faster or flatter than I do. And in all reality, he's probably like the worst guy on the job, right? Like, he's the slough. He's the one that doesn't put his tools away. You know what I mean? Like, it's